Buen día, mi nombre es Edgar Steven Rodríguez y esta es el video aplicable a la evidencia 5, presentación oral y proceso de mejora de plan de negocios. To make a good negotiation is good having into account the someone steps that I will explain you in the following step. Step 1. The first is make presentation. The process is after the requirements have been identified, the supplier search for his goods or service must be carried out. This is responsibility of the employee, and the tool is by phone or email by PC. Step 2. Input phone call or mailing. Process description. The employee must make the mailing or call to start a conversation about a specific business. This is made by employee, and the tool is forwarded on email by PC. Step 3. Input review the requirement to negotiate. Process. Technically validate what the requirement is and what are the technical specifications of the product or service to be contracted. This is responsibility of the engineering department and employee. By email. Step 4. Fill out the brief. Process. Complete the file and include all the specification of the requirement. This is responsibility of the employee, and this is the tool is by email. Step 5. Send the brief to the supplier. The process is send the brief to the supplier and indicate a maximum date of sending it. This is responsibility of the employee, and this is by email. Step 6. Receive the brief and indicate if you have any document related or something. The process is the supplier receives the brief and check it if it is clear or requires additional information to be able to quote. The responsibility of the vendor, and this is by email. Step 7. Input fill out the brief. Process. The supplier fills out the brief, and there it includes all the pertinent information to offer these products or service. This should include warranty issues, post-sale services, coverage, restriction, lead times, payment terms, income terms, and others. This is the responsibility of the vendor, and this is the by email. Step 8. Send the brief to the client. Process. Once the brief has been filled out and completed, the supplier must send it within the established negotiation dates. This is responsible of the vendor, and this is by email. Process step number 9. Review of the received brief. Process. The employee will review the brief and validate if it includes those requirements in technical and commercial aspects. This is responsible of the employee, and this is by phone or email. Step 10. Negotiation. After the review of commercial and technical specification, the employee will initiate a negotiation process in which he will review issues of price reduction, extension of guarantees, applicable policies or documents required to perform validation in Clinton list, SARLAF, etc. This is the responsibility of employee and vendor. This is by phone or email. Step 11. Closing of the negotiation process. This closure occurs when both parties agree of the technical and the commercial condition or restriction, custom regimes, tariff position, and everything related to the import or export process must be validated. This is responsibility of the employee and vendor by phone or email. Step 12. Send purchase order. Process. The employee will send the supplier to the supplier the official purchase order or contract to establish the purchase or sell and start the production or logistic process. This is responsibility of the employee by email. Step 13. Step 12. Send a purchase order. The employee will send the supplier the official purchase order or contract to establish the purchase or sale and start the production or logistic process. This is responsibility of the employee by email. Step 13. Purchase order receipt process. The supplier will receive the order and will validate that the previously negotiated conditions are correct and will confirm the receipt of the same to the employee. From there, the time to delivery of the goods or service begins. It is responsible of the vendor by email. Step 14. Delivery of the goods or service process. The supplier will make the delivery of the goods or service. This is subject to the term of negotiation and Incoterm. This is responsibility of the vendor by logistic process, custom agents, etc. Step 15. Reception of the material or service process. The employee will review the material and confirm if it is technically correct and meets the requirements. This is the responsibility of the employee and technical expert. And the tool is physical inspection. And the last, step 16, payments to the provider. The process is after the correct receipt of the material and the import or export process, the payment will be made to the supplier, taking into account the negotiation term. This is the responsibility of the employee and the finance department by email and confirms by phone. Thank you so much.